Veterans owned about 1.6 million American businesses in 2023. Those businesses generated roughly $1 trillion in receipts. That is not a charity project. That is not a ceremonial slogan. That is real economic power. And it leads to a question we should be asking across this whole country. If veterans are already building at that scale, what could happen if America helped more veterans become prepared, capable business owners? In the first episode, we asked the question. We said the conversation about veterans cannot end with disability, transition, or assistance. Veterans should claim every benefit they earned, and they should also be able to build what comes next. Now, we have to move from belief to evidence. What do veteran-owned businesses already contribute to the economy? What do the numbers actually tell us? And what would it mean to make veteran entrepreneurship a large part of America's future? What does this exactly mean? So the latest US Census Bureau released covering employer and non-employer business report, 36.4 million businesses in America for 2023. Veteran owned approximately 1.6 million of that 3.64 million businesses. About 261,000 were employer firm companies with paid employees. These firms represent roughly 4.4% of all employer businesses. Approximately 1.4 million were businesses without paid employees, and those represent about 4.5% of non-employer businesses. Together, veteran-owned businesses generate about $1 trillion in receipts. Now, there are limits we need to respect. Receipts, when I say receipts, they are not profits that veterans made. A business can produce revenue and still struggle with cost, debt, cash flow, or other type of compensation. The census figures do not tell us how many veterans want to own a business. They do not explain every barrier a veteran deals with, and they do not prove this, that veteran status can cause success. So what they do establish is something very important that we need to look at here. Veteran entrepreneurship is already becoming a serious part of the American economy. The opportunity it's not imaginary, and the foundation, it already exists. So what would more veteran-owned businesses actually do? First, they would solve problems for customers. That must always come first. A business survives because somebody values what it provides enough to pay for it. Second, some of those companies would create jobs. Not every business needs employees. A disciplined one-person company can create independence and serve a real market. But when a company grows, it can hire a neighbor, train a young worker, purchase from another small supplier, or create a first civilian opportunity for another veteran that just got off of active duty. Third, ownership can strengthen your local community. Think about the business that makes a safe workplace, the contractor who repairs a school, the manufacturer supplying a larger plant, the cybersecurity firm protecting a hospital, the farm feeding a local region, the transportation company keeping goods moving to you, the professional service that helps other local companies operate. When these businesses are capable, ethical, and rooted in their communities, their value reaches far beyond the owners. And finally, ownership can create something transferable. A job ends when employment ends. A well-built company can become an asset, a leadership platform, a source of family stability, or an opportunity that gets passed to the next generation. That is where entrepreneurship connects back to legacy. Now, here is a part I must personally say plainly. America does not need more veteran-owned business that exists only on paper. We do not need shell companies built to chase a certification. We do not need founders who believe their service record means customers owe them a purchase. Veteran status can open a conversation. It can establish eligibility for certain programs. It can be a meaningful part of a company's story, but it does not replace capability. Customers still need value. Employees still need leadership. Lenders still need evidence that money can be repaid. Government buyers still need responsible contractors. And communities still need businesses that keep their promises. The mission is not to lower the standards for veterans. We're not here to lower those standards. The mission is to help more veterans reach the standards, complete at the standard, and then raise the actual standard. That requires honesty. Some ideas will not survive customer interviews. Some businesses should not be purchased. Some founders need more experiences before taking on debt or even employees. Preparation is not discouragement. Preparation is how we protect the veteran, the family, the customer, and the veteran's mission. If the USA wants more veteran builders, inspiration alone, that won't be enough. Veterans need visible pathways from service to ownership. They need practical education that explains customers, pricing, cash flow operations, taxes, contracts, and risk in plain language. They need experienced people who will challenge weak assumptions before those assumptions become very expensive mistakes. They need lenders and investors who can distinguish a disciplined opportunity from a patriotic story with no economics behind it. They need government and institution buyers who make opportunities understandable and evaluate qualified firms fairly. And they need communities that do more than post a message on just Veterans Day. Here's a nice message. Buy from the capable, own veteran business, introduce founders to customers, invite them into supply chains, and mentor them without talking down to them. Hold them accountable because you believe they can deliver. This is what meaningful support looks like. And if we are serious, we should measure more than the numbers of businesses that receive a label. We should ask how many survive long enough to become stable, how many become employers, how many develop repeat customers instead of living from one emergency sale to the next, how many enter supply chains, win work based on performance, and grow beyond dependence on one single program. How many owners build reliable financial records, operational systems, and success plans? These questions matter because business's formation is the only beginning, and a new registration is not yet a functioning company. A certification is not a customer. A loan is not revenue, and revenue is not durable profit. The goal should be more veterans entering ownership with preparation and more of these owners building companies capable of actually lasting. That What that means is our success measures must follow the whole journey. Education completed, customer evidence gathered, first sale earned, cash flow stabilization, employees developed, contract performance, ownership transferred, responsibility. When we measure the journey, we can see where veterans are being lost and where support is actually working. For the veterans watching this, I'm talking to you veterans, the size of the opportunity should not pressure you into starting a company tomorrow. It should give you permission to investigate. Look at your local community, your industry, or the work you already know. Where are customers losing time? Where are they accepting poor service because no better option exists? Where is an owner preparing to retire without a successor? Where is a supply chain fragile? Where is a new technology creating a problem that established companies have not solved? Write down 3 observations, not 3 company names, not 3 slogans, 3 problems worth understanding. This is your action for this episode. Take those observations into education resources, customer conversation, and business counseling that can help you test them. Americans already has 1.6 million veteran-owned businesses. That's a decent amount across America. They already generate enormous economic activity. The lesson is that veterans are capable of creating value at scale, and that we should build better paths for more of them to try responsibly. More prepared owners, more prepared employers, more local problem solvers, more companies worth passing forward. This is not only good for veterans, this is good for America. In the next episode, we're going to look at the raw material veterans may already carry into businesses, leadership, accountability, adaptation, and mission focus. But we will also confront the truth that these strengths must be translated. Military experience is valuable, but the market speaks a different language. So click that subscribe button down below to VestVet Debrief, and let's continue the season with us. Then look around you. Find one more problem worth understanding, because America does not simply need more business with veteran laborers. America needs more veteran builders.